comes as we reflect on the budget, which is major concern. Remember, Sri Lanka defaulted
Mm-hmm.
on their international debt.
Yeah.
You know why the default happened? They had gotten a whole lot of funding out of China.
Well,
But what I'm saying is the question that must be asked, taken into consideration in terms of funding, that's one thing, and in terms of how indebted will the Jamaican people be in regards to whatever funding mechanism comes to the fore. Because remember, last year or earlier this year, $279 million was was signed for the Mobi bypass,
mm-hmm.
and it's a Chinese company. Wanted how is that being funded? Is it loans? That's a question that we keep
Yes, right.
asking because
Yeah.
people have said how much of our national debt is being held by China, how much is being the different companies, and if they were to make a call on that now, would be in a position to pay it, or would have to give up national resources in order to back the loan that has been taken. I just want to
In
raise that. It
in
just crossed
in
my
yeah,
mind.
in the days when there was a point when I was working on a project to, well, to bring a Chinese contractor here to do a logistics hub project
Hmm.
in Kemanos.
Hmm.
And we spent the better part of a year going to China even as part of that initiative. One of the things that I grew to
Learn.
understand
Hmm.
is that China does nothing without a sovereign guarantee.
When you say a
Um,
sovereign guarantee, you mean the government
the government, if they're doing something in your country, they want a sovereign guarantee. And I now understand the, you know, with hindsight, I'm now saying, thank God that project didn't fly. Because as you see more and more countries in the world in debt to China, having to put China in charge of
national
their
resource.
critical asset, because you mentioned Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka borrowed money to do a port,
Hmm.
and they had to turn around and lease the port. That's what they call it. Lease the port to China, to the Chinese company that built it. And one of the great sleight of hand with China is they talk about companies, but really it's the state that owns these companies.
And that is so important to
But
know.
they come into your environment. For example, here's Czech saying that Czech is registered as a local company. It's not a local company. I
Hmm.
mean, the paperwork is just a part of the story. Behind it stands the great dragon. And the dragon only moves with sovereign guarantee because when you default, it is the government who is accountable. And when it sounds like something convenient and cute at a certain point in time. But as you see the world
What is
falling,
happening?
you see the problems arising in other parts of the world, you realize that the idea behind a sovereign guarantee is that they can hold the government
Responsible.
responsible and step in and take control of whatever asset there is. I know that that is their plan, but almost every time
But look at it.
people talk about the great dragon, I said, the great dragon has not met my God.
Bye.
That I'd said
And
they
shifted.
think that it would be an easy thing to come into Jamaica and take over the airport and take over the hospitals and take over the port, but that would be the worst mistake.
Yeah, look at that. So these are the major projects:
Hmm.
Southern Coastal Highway,
That
the Montego
that they
Bay
are already doing.
Montego Bay bypass, and the Marant Bay Urban Center.
We should have a law that they can do more than two
That's
at
what
any
it.
given time.
Apparently.
Can't take on no new one until they
So
finish the
so
old
so
one.
look at Southern Coastal was about. Can check how much money it was, because remember, that was already done deal, and when the government changed, they rehashed it and so on.
Renegotiate
It did,
and
and
yeah.
whatever it happening. So we just calling it out and saying, people, beware, beware. Because I'd love if anybody could say to me from Ministry of Finance how much of the major infrastructure work that has been done to date has been done by China Harbor. We know that
With sovereign
yeah, with
guarantees.
sovereign guarantees. That's an important thing, because even the North Coast Highway. I think is they are the guys who finished it, right? The Chinese, the
Mm.
one, the Edward Siaga one,
Yes.
the one that was done previously is paid for, is owned by Jamaican, because they had raised the money, paid off what was owed to the French and so on. So it is ours now. But one of the things, as you were driving on some of these recently done projects like the Mandela, you've seen a lot of things that need to be fixed, and it's not 5 years. Like with the previous Highway 2000, is only now in 2022 you see them doing a lot of resurfacing and so
Mm-hmm.
on. Mm-mm. It's Baba.
All right. One small point to cap this discussion: the water, the flood damage, and the loss of life coming
Montego
out of
Bay.
Montego Bay. Have you
Engineer
seen?
raised a
Have you seen how much money is being spent to search for that body?
no?
No, they haven't put the dollar figure, but they're they're searching for the body. They're clearing drains. They're doing things which they should have done as preventative care. And much of those things, the counselor was one of the counselors was on the news saying they're getting the same, I think, $4 million every year.
100,000?
No, 400,000 was for another community in
That's in
worse
Kingston.
off.
Yes, right.
In yes, they're getting like the same $4 million was the figure he was saying every year, and it simply cannot cover the territory. But they are now carrying out a massive search operation and clearing up to find a body.
Which they've been doing a long, long time, because a lot of what has happened with the floods is blocked drains, the debris that goes on for the Montego Bay River. There's no free passage into the harbor, and therefore it does block up and it does spill over into the road.
And so the point I'm making is
And
you were not able to find it and spend it for preventative care, but you end up having to do something extraordinary after the disaster has struck. Can we just learn the lesson and make the exceptional effort as a preventative measure rather than to recover ground or to cover up a disaster? They may never find her body. I
yeah,
mean, I pray that it is not so, but we know that these kinds of the body may have been swept out to
sea
sea,
and
or
so on.
yes, and just tragic and sad. And we have enough cumulative experience in this country to do better than that.
Here's a discussion that I had years ago when just finished university, and a whole lot of projects were happening under the PMP and so on. My friend said to me, he's in construction, he's a surveyor. He says, that must happen, I said, why you say that? He said, because when you do major construction projects, that is what funds a lot of the political parties in terms of what comes back. And I could tell you another story, but I'll tell you off here in terms of how important these construction projects are to political
Political
parties and their
power
funding,
base.
their power base.
Yeah.
Because you remember right after the recent election, KD Knight,
Mm-hmm.
the voice note says, this election was bought, and he was able to quote the figure of how much money went into the election. What he's saying is a case of sour grapes, but he must speak in
But there was some truth in
if
it.
there was truth in it. So
All
whatever
right.
we might say, money runs elections.
You and I have not had a lot of time to speak about the issue concerning the certification of construction workers. Um, Robert Williams, foreman, is here being quoted as saying they need to certify people on the job.
Which is excellent. But it's
Totally,
a
yeah.
program that Heart does. There are a lot of people who have been working in industry, and a lot of people are not aware of it. They know the job, but in order to get that done, they would have to have on the job certification, which
Hmm.
companies can work with a hard trust entity to get that
Yeah,
done. But a lot of people don't know that this is so in terms of certifying people at start at level 1, 2, or 3. But I agree with him. That is a
yeah.
suggestion that has come from I don't call it the common folk, but that is from his
Yeah,
experience
but
that
see,
he's saying.
we're back to the point of listening to the people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the oath is just playing in my mind what it is that the prime minister and so on, what the ministers, the oath taken by the prime minister is also the same oath taken by ministers.
Mm-hmm.
So they are cued to respond in a certain way and
Mm-hmm.
to pay attention. And it doesn't seem that anything in what they are thinking
Mm-hmm.
requires them to pay attention to what citizens are saying. But I single out this man, a foreman on a site,
So do
who
it,
is
man.
saying, get more in the field and begin to certify people, because
A lot of
to
people they're
even
doing it for
talk about,
years, even to
yeah,
simple things like holding a tape measure, working a level,
hmm,
understanding. A lot of people know to do it. They learn it on the job,
yes.
and most of them, one of the challenges now is the level of education and understanding with people. Because if you look at um, what needs to happen to be certified, it can be done, but you just have to have a new trust in regards to that. I remember years ago, it's not before um, COVID came about. What they did for construction, they took cohorts out of the inner city to JDF of young men and put them through a program of certification. Because if you try to put them in another environment without the regimental discipline that JDF provided, it wouldn't happen. But a lot of those young men now are working in industry because the government did that. But they have to do it in a major way in terms of doing it. Go on site, certify the people, and if they need as they touch up, help them with it. But they're out there. Yep.
So I'm thinking that the Heart Trust, Ministry of Labor,
Mm-hmm.
all those who have some say in the space,
Mm-hmm.
need now to just be very proactive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think enough persons, this has not left the front page of our minds
Mm-hmm.
since the prime minister said those words.
No, it has to be.
I think every day, and I think I made a note that I would touch base with someone from the union to get a sense, to
It's a
have a
master
conversation on
master
air,
builders.
um,
Yeah, it's
on
master builders.
how I was thinking of of a trade union person, because just to see what kind of strategies and policies one would be advocating at this time.
But the trade union,
Yeah.
but
Mhm. Yeah.
most of those guys are not unionized like in other countries like Canada, US. You have the unions that run construction, but I do not believe that a lot of they're not unionized because of the environment that people work in. But Mr. Williams, thank you for making that powerful suggestion. I hope the powers that be are listening, are acting on it. Um, Remember, Hard Trust now is under the office of the Prime
Oh
Minister, you
yes.
know. Yes, so if it is under his office, he can do something about it. Same way like he's
Mhm.
done the Amber Project and those things,
But
he can do the same thing.
that is what was particularly disappointing about the statement he made,
Hmm.
that he's in control of heart, and he was saying we won't be able to train and prepare people in time, so we may have to import.
But he needs to
And
do it, and it, yeah.
yeah, so all right, can we turn now to just give some love to World Intellectual Property Day
Well, we saw intellectual property that's going out even now as we
as we
speak.
speak?
It's our intellectual property, yeah.
Right. What is very interesting about um, this focus on intellectual property is the recognition that your intellect, meaning the power and ingenuity of your mind and your ability to communicate and be creative, your intellect is,
It's you.
well, everybody has it.
Yeah,
In other
it's you.
words, um, a relic of slavery, and forgive me for going back so far. In order to control a slave, you needed to convince them
They are fools.
that they are nothing, their opinion, that they must only take instruction.
Correct.
A slave who displays an independence of mind and thought and and will
It's a troublesome
is a
slave.
troublesome slave. In fact,
I was
it's
flogged.
not a slave. That is a slave trying to be a person.
Mm-hmm.
A slave is a non-person.
Mm-hmm.
And so you exist in an environment where your intellect has no value, and a great deal of effort is put into um, diminishing, into disparaging, in just beat that out of you. Just slave must be a blank page on which the master write what is required each day, and you don't have the capacity to even retain unless you are told that every day you're going to be doing this, so you better remember, and every day you're going to be doing it in a particular way, so you better remember. And you don't need to get any mnemonics or artful strategies for memory, because there's the whip. The whip will give you memory. So now to shift to a time when your intellect is being prized and your intellect is being recognized as being valuable and unique, I suspect that for some persons it's a hard shift. Nonetheless,
It always is, you know. Let me give you a case in point.
yes, sir.
We've just come out of Passover, Easter.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that was so very important, Egypt, Mizraim, means the place of limitations in terms of your mind. In terms of your mind. And so if I can keep you bound in terms of a mindset, then I have you. So what that represented is God intervened to say, no man, I'm taking you out of the place of limitations in terms of what you can achieve to a place where there is freedom that you can walk into the promises that I've given to you, which is the promised land. So this thing about your intellect, knowledge sets you free, so important, and that's what God gives back to us through
The sacrificial death.
yes.
So that's the freedom.
That's a freedom.
That is the
Freedom
freedom
to
of
think.
which we
Yeah,
speak.
yeah.
And the ability to reclaim and exercise that freedom is something that we have to we have to fight for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's not going
daily.
to come very easy. He tells you what it is, but
Yeah.
you're there positionally, but in terms of what you relate to in the practicality, you've got to fight for it. You got to fight for it. That's what it's about.
So this year, the
Hmm.
World Intellectual Property Day 2022's theme focuses on intellectual property and youth innovating for a better future.
Hmm.
There is, in fact, a competition underway. The results of it will be announced later today. Well, I don't know later, because it's being done in Geneva, Switzerland, and the the awards are between. This looks like 4 p.m. It starts at 4 p.m. their time.
It's in Geneva.
It's in Geneva. So, and they are exploring how innovative, energetic, and creative minds are driving positive change. You are being invited to find out how young inventors, creators, and entrepreneurs can use intellectual property to achieve their goals, generate income, create jobs, tackle local and global challenges, and support community and national development. I don't know if Jamaica is
As in interest,
participating.
if any Jamaica is interested,
Yeah,
has
right.
actually sent in something to participate. But we are very creative people here in Jamaica, and they're doing a lot of stuff, and a lot of them have moved it to actually making money for themselves online, which is a great thing. Which is why I tell my charges, the young men that I mentor, and to my children all the time, become a producer. This is what allows you to become a producer of what is happening. Yes, yes, man.
A producer
A
like the
producer, a
producer.
producer.
Yeah. I am just kind of reflecting on the focus on youth and the marriage between intellectual property and technology. Access to technology is really access to information, because the world's storehouse of knowledge and information is now residing primarily
Mhm,
on the internet.
mhm,
And when I think about the the shortage
Mm-hmm.
of access and the cost of access,
I never
and
had to get
and
that way.
and the fact that many times people are making some hard choices between food and internet access so their children can participate in the digital world. I am not. I'm just troubled. I'm troubled that we are not doing as much as we should to prepare our young people for the future, understanding that the quality of preparation we give them impacts the quality of the environment and the world in which they live and their ability to maintain their position. So that to me is an indictment on our generation in terms of what we're doing, how we're carrying out our functions. But I remember something that was told to me when I was like a 2-day old lawyer, and looking around and seeing how the senior lawyers lived and the opportunities they had and the time in which they lived seemed so much easier. And in point of fact, it was. In their day, it was easier to make $1 million than it was in mine, even though the value of the $1 million had changed. And a senior lawyer said to me, every generation has its advantages.
True.
Let's take the break at that point. I'll go deeper into that when we come back because it's now 8 o'clock. May I just say before I go, the numbers for you to call us are 619-1508 and 279-8473. We're going to open the lines when we return so you can have a chat with us. So please stay with us. This is the Morning Connection.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
BBC News. Hello, this is Jerry Smith. In a major policy shift, the German government has authorized the sale of about 50 anti-aircraft tanks to Ukraine. The ex-German army vehicles have been held in storage for the past decade and will undergo technical upgrades before being shipped to the Ukrainian army. Germany has long had a policy of not supplying heavy weaponry to conflict zones. David McGuinness reports from Berlin.
Germany does in fact supply large amounts of arms to Ukraine, not as much as the US or the UK, but it is comparable to other Western European countries. But the German government has been criticised both at home and abroad for not sending the heavy weapons, such as tanks, that Ukraine has been asking for. In particular, Chancellor Olaf Scholz has been accused of being unclear and hesitant about Berlin's stance on sending heavy weapons. This move aims to prove that Germany is fully behind Ukraine.
Ministers from 40 other countries allied to NATO are meeting at an American airbase in Germany to discuss supplying extra military aid to Ukraine. The US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said the conference showed governments were united in supporting Ukraine's fight against Russian aggression. Anita Arnott is Canada's defense minister.
We will continue to not only send weapons from the inventory of the Canadian Armed Forces, but we are also moving to enter into contracts with defense suppliers for weaponry for Ukraine. For example, cameras for drones that are being used in combat right now.
The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has told the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov that everything possible must be done to end the war in Ukraine. Mr. Guterres is on a visit to Moscow, during which he'll also hold talks with President Vladimir Putin. Jenny Hill reports from the city.
Few expect a significant breakthrough from today's talks, and there was a distinctly cool tone as Antonio Guterres sat down with the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. There is little evidence that President Putin is serious about seeking peace. Last night, Mr. Lavrov accused the West of waging a proxy war in Ukraine by supplying the country with weapons. Mr. Lavrov did, however, say that he expected hostilities to end with a treaty, but that such an agreement would be defined by the state of fighting at the time.
Tensions are mounting in a breakaway region of Moldova, which is controlled by pro-Russian separatists, with reports of 2 attacks in as many days. Officials in Transnistria say 2 radio antennae, which were rebroadcasting a Russian radio channel, were knocked out by explosions early on Tuesday. On Monday, Russian state media said there had been an attack on state security services. Last week, a senior Russian military commander said control of southern Ukraine would open another way for Moscow's forces to reach Transnistria. BBC News. The mother of a man due to be executed in Singapore on Wednesday has failed in a last-minute appeal against his sentence. Nagendaran Dharmalingam, who has a low IQ, is on death row for smuggling a small amount of heroin into Singapore more than a decade ago. Despite pleas for clemency, his sentence has been upheld on a number of appeals. The case has attracted international attention. The European Union has urged the Sudanese authorities and rebel movements to protect civilians after an outbreak of violence in the Darfur region left more than 160 people dead. On Monday, fighting spread from a town near El Geneina. The UN peacekeeping force withdrew from Darfur at the end of 2020. Since then, there have been frequent outbreaks of violence involving well-armed militias. Police in Pakistan say at least 4 people were killed when a van exploded in the city of Karachi. Others were injured in the blast near the China Institute at the University of Karachi. Local media say 3 of those who died were Chinese nationals. The government in Sri Lanka has come up with a new visa plan to bring in desperately needed foreign currency. It's facing a grave financial crisis with shortages of basic goods. Here's Simon Ponsford.
Sri Lanka has run out of money to import food, fuel and medicine, so the government is hoping the Golden Paradise visa program will help. The scheme allows foreigners to live and work in the country for 10 years if they deposit at least $100,000 to boost foreign currency reserves. It seems unlikely there'll be a rush to snap up the offer, given that Sri Lanka is facing its worst financial crisis since independence. There have been widespread anti-government protests over the acute shortage of basic supplies.
Simon Ponsford, BBC News.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
There will be days when you're too tired to move, to drive, but you think you have to, because your vehicle won't wash itself, right? But no, you don't have to visit a car wash. 123 Mobile Car Wash will come straight to you. Yes, you heard right. 123 Mobile Car Wash is offering services in Kingston and St. Andrew and St. Catherine. We shampoo and detail cars, trucks, offices, and more. No job too small. Call us at 876-631-3400. 123 Mobile Car Wash. We come to you.
The Aeronautical School of the West Indies presents Squawk 876, a fun and informative program where you will learn about flying, aircraft systems, weather, maintenance, and much more. Tune in to Best 100 FM this and every Wednesday at 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Haggard Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back. We're searching down a piece of scripture to just anchor something we're saying. Do we have a caller on the line? All right, we'll start with the call and I'll find it in the meantime. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Shalom, shalom.
Hello, Samuel.
Blessings and good morning to you, Pastor.
I'm good, man. I've not forgotten you. I have your number. I'm trying to set up a meeting. Let me just clear that with you, myself, and somebody else. All right? I have your number.
Okay, Pastor.
Good. So we supposed.
Good morning to you and yours, Miss Lynette.
Good morning, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. Let me first by commenting that you labor on it a bit, if I can use that term, this morning in regards to what Mr. Andrew Willis has said about us and our young people. It's an indictment on the government and on the training institution, especially the art training institution that was set up by Mr. Edward Tiago some time ago. And you speak briefly on the subject of legacy. Mr. Andrew Willis has, so to speak, corrupted the legacy of Mr. Edward Tiago. Based on his statement, he said, in other words, he's actually saying that we are not qualified, or we don't have qualified personnel to build our infrastructure. And I believe that it's a foregone conclusion. His announcement was really a rubber stamp.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
many people feel that way. It's already done. He has agreed to something.
That's what I said, man. You have to go import labor to do it.
So when we see it happening,
can't say it.
Can't say we never did a one.
And you know, Samuel, it says to us, those other 62 members of parliament who are in communities and constituency where their young people coming out of school, not doing anything, sitting down on the roadside, how are they going to face those people and speak to them? You know?
They can't.
Yeah, and that is a challenge. So they are just setting up themselves for the persons in the community, say, like the Cavaliers thing, we want your no road. No road, you can go. You saw that sign? Yes. No road, you can go. That's what they're saying.
Yes, I want to go scriptural also.
Okay, go ahead.
I heard Miss Lynette briefly commented also on check Chinese Arbor Engineering.
Yes.
And there was some comparison with what she termed as the sovereign agreement.
Sovereign guarantee.
Sovereign guarantee. And through that name, China lending several countries money. And then when they can't, they default in payment, they took something. They took some police to run, carry their own person from cinema, so to speak.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you, Pastor, do you know what present-day Chinese biblical name is?
I think we had raised that and I don't recall what it is.
All right.
It's Gog or Magog, which one of them?
Zephaniah 2 and verse 8. You can look in it.
Okay.
No, you can look now. I just want briefly for your listener to understand.
You read it now, man. You have to
I'm not near where I'm not anywhere near.
You forget he doesn't usually have.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Just read from verse 8 to 10.
Okay.
For there is their judgment also.
Okay. All right. What's the other point you're making?
All right. I'm going to ask you, Pastor, do you know what your biblical name is? The nation that you come from biblically?
No, you tell me.
Oh, hold on a minute, Samuel. What chapter of Zephaniah you said?
2:8.
I said Zephaniah 2 verse 8 to 10.
Okay.
Found it.
All right. Yeah, go ahead about the biblical name now.
I was referring to the biblical name of the Chinese because I want to show you their judgment.
You mean the Ammon or Moab? Which one of them?
Moab, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, Pastor, what's your biblical name is? The nation that you come from biblically?
No. Which one is that?
All right. It's actually Exodus 3 and verse 10.
Dear Lord Samuel, call the name now.
Call
And
the
stop
name.
sending us
All
through
right,
the Bible.
all right.
Yes,
All right,
Nick, what do you think we're doing?
Let me get to
Yeah,
Zephaniah.
what do you
Because,
think we're doing here? Yeah, well, yeah.
wait, God, you see, I really want you to read
Yes,
for
I know,
your
but you're
sake of
making
your
your
listener.
point. You need to make your point. We're not.
Yeah.
The point
You're
I'm
not.
trying to make is
You are
that,
not our Moses in your
all right,
Aaron,
fine,
where you put
fine.
words in our mouth.
The point I'm trying to make is that
Yes.
it was foretold. I actually believe and I'm convinced that all things concerning us, and I emphasize on us, pertaining to our disadvantage in the world today,
Mm-hmm.
and there's also a way how we can get back out of these disadvantages and be back on top. I believe it's all recorded in scripture.
I believe that too.
Some people might have disagreed.
I believe
This
that
is
too.
why-
Our
this is why-
disagreement tends only to be on some specifics in
This is
terms
why
of how you interpret things. But
this is why it's very relevant for we to know who we are. Because in that very text in Zephaniah, God was saying, these people, which are called Moab, had magnified themselves against his people and their borders. Their borders would refer to their country.
mm-hmm.
So God, in his wisdom and foreknowledge, have set out exactly who they are, what they will do. All right, just allow me. I got a scripture. And allow me to just read the scripture for your listener.
Okay.
Zephaniah 2 and reading from verse 8. He said, God is speaking to his prophet now, and he said, I have heard the reproach of Moab and the reveling of the children of Ammon. The Ammonites are their brother, their brethren. We can recall when Lot's daughters have two sons. The first one was called Moab, Genesis chapter 19. And the second one was called, come from the second daughter, was called Ammon, the Ammonites. They are the Japanese today. Whereby they have reproached, meaning put to shame, my people, and the people of God has gone to Genesis. Exodus 2 verse 10 is the children of Israel. And I have magnified themselves against their border. And the judgment is, therefore, as I live, said the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, surely Moab, and he's specifying China now, Moab shall be as Sodom, and the children of Ammon as Gomorrah, even the breeding of nettles and saltpit, and a perpetual desolation. He's going to destroy them. And the residue of my people shall spoil them, when we will have them, and we will own them, literally. And the remnant of my people shall possess them. This shall they for their pride, because they have reproached and magnified themselves against the people of the Lord of hosts. The Lord shall be terrible unto them, for he will punish all their gods. You know that they work with Chemosh and other idols. So people are often saying that China will be the next superpower. No, they will not.
All right.
Well, for a time, remember, that for a time there will be the appearance of things.
It's now. That time is now. They are actually appearing as if they are a superpower.
Yeah, and it will not end tomorrow. I think it will reach a crescendo before you see the fulfillment of prophecy, because they will run strong and hot for a time. That is really the nature of things anyway.
Okay, Pastor. So you understand who you is, what nationality, scriptural nationality you're from?
Me?
I'm saying to you, Pastor, now you understand what scriptural nationality you are from.
I don't think Pastor was ever in doubt.
Oh.
Yes.
So how about you, Miss?
Never in doubt.
You're never in doubt that you're Israelite, right?
Never in doubt.
The chosen people of God. That's why when they refer to Israel, when the scripture refer always speaking the
I think
what you call
I
the
think Samuel
possessive pronoun.
I think
We and us.
I think the point on which we often differ is that we are under a covenant which speaks to spiritual sons and daughters of Abraham being included in the same promise that covers the actual natural sons and daughters of Abraham. We seem to be at odds on that time and again when I hear you speak. I mention it only so that you are clear on how I see things. So I, for one, don't believe that I need to um, track my natural DNA back to a particular tribe. I think
Jacob.
I think that if I accept and associate myself properly with the spiritual origin of things, that I am covered. You may have a different understanding. I'm not sure if you do, but I certainly, when I listen to you, I think that your emphasis on bloodline is a point of division. For example, many of the children of Moab who find themselves under the covenant will be spared, and that is the promise. You may feel differently, but that is the promise under which I stand. Any comments from you, Pastor?
No,
Before
I'm in
we
agreement with you.
all
Yeah.
right. So thank you, my brother. I do appreciate that the more we speak, the better understanding is developed. And I think that is the purpose of what we are doing. And I applaud you for keeping the flame going.
All right.
All right.
Cool.
I'll leave you with this, Pastor.
Yes.
Jeremiah, I asked you to read a text for me last week, Wednesday. 2 texts, actually.
All right. Don't bother chastise him. What is the scripture in Jeremiah that you want?
Jeremiah, it's Jeremiah 3 and verse 15.
3 verse 15?
Yes.
All right. As I hear the phone ring, I'm just going to read it for you. Then I will give you shepherds after my own heart, who will lead you with knowledge and understanding.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. I actually love that one because the shepherds and the teachers and the caregivers, those who must stand on the wall and give the warning and so on. I know that we number amongst those. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning,
Good morning.
my lady. Morning, Pastor.
Morning, sir. How you doing?
Well, good, man. Well, I tell you, every time I hear this brother, man, me just can't like this. Sometimes I turn out the rhythm. What is, have you ever asked this brother here, what is it? What is he all about? Him come and him a talk about this.
All right, let me tell you what he's about. He's of a contention that believes that as black people, we are the Israelites. That is his basic point of reference. That the true, let me just tell you where I'm starting from. That as black people, because we came on ships and so on, we are the true Israelites. And the time for us now has come. That is his basic premise from that he operates from. So he goes into the scripture to prove and to point it out. All right? And I've said to him, my brother, you hear that? But if you go back to historical records and things, it is not so. And that's why I'm going to engage him, bring all of the things come, and say, let us discuss it based on
that. I wouldn't mind if I don't hear him on the radio.
All right, but you know,
maybe a lot of people might be saying the same thing about me too, you know. So, you know.
I'm glad that you are so self-aware that you can appreciate that.
Well, I like to hear both of you.
Yeah,
so what you want to tell us this morning?
Yeah, what I want to just dwell in on the statement that I think I touched on it a little yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And the Prime Minister is saying that we have a shortage of
skilled workers.
We have a shortage of labor.
Skilled construction workers.
Skilled construction workers. And I don't think we in Jamaica is really listening to what the Prime Minister is saying carefully, you know.
What do you think we're missing?
And prepared to hold the Prime Minister accountable. Because the Prime Minister who is in charge of art,
Mm-hmm.
That's supposed to be training people.
Mm-hmm.
Can't come just tell we know after he's in office how much years now.
Mm-hmm.
But still Jamaicans that boy will get shot. So who is supposed to create environment that people say? Because I hear Sheppy yesterday say the people them don't want to do this and the people them don't want to do that. But what is the incentive? You have to incentivize people if they want to do certain things, you know. People not don't just get up and do certain things, because when I was a youngster, I went and learned a trade because the people around me were learning trade, and we used to see them buy house, and even my friend then go learn trade and say buy everything like a bicycle. A bicycle was important at that time. So it was an incentive for me to sit down on the corner to go learn a trade, because I could have buy a bicycle to ride up, go look at a girl, me and my friend them.
That's true.
Let me ask you a question, my brother, because you're absolutely right. What the Prime Minister said should disturb all of us. But how do you think we should hold him responsible? By what method do you think we could hold him responsible?
Well, by me talking about it, and a lot of people talking about it, and make him realize that he's on the wrong track, because we can't really do anything physically right now, you know, because we have to wait until when the time comes, we probably go to the poll and remove him.
But I disagree that I believe that there are some things we can do, and I'm just trying to stimulate discussion around it. For example, there's a Ministry of Labor that must process and approve work permits.
Yeah.
Work permit, yes,
right.
Yes,
there are unions in the field that can right now recruit or whatever it is, bring in the construction workers as part of their cohort if they weren't doing so before. There is some powerful lobbying that needs to be done. 3, we know who these foreign hotel chains are. We can begin speaking to their embassies, or we can make it an issue, because nobody want to come into a country where they anticipate hostility from citizens who can't get work because they're bringing their own workers. There is a lot that we can do, because once he sound that warning, people need to get into high gear and do more than speak about it. There are policies that we can review right now. I think we should be conducting an audit of how many work permits have been issued to construction workers for the other projects that have gone on, because this might be something that was happening all the time.
A long time ago, and it just passed under. But now he's dog whistled and says, you know, if you see all of these people coming, can't say me never did warn you,
right.
but he has warned us, and we could check back, and as all of the things that Minette has outlined, we can do those things, you know.
Right now, today we can start.
I think those are very good suggestions. You see, what I think the Prime Minister is doing is preempting the thing, you know.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, then give us warning, so we must step into high gear now too.
Yes. I was looking at it that way, and you know, sometimes that's why we have to reason, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know me love the reasoning.
And even enlightened self-interest. You are in Portmore, right? Which is the major institution that does that kind of a training in the heart system. You need to mobilize the youth them in your community and make them go at the gate and say we want to be
trained and certified.
All of the youths them who reasonable and say who not on the corners, who want something better. Because the truth is, you know, a lot of these young men want better for themselves.
Of course they do.
But if the adults are not there mobilizing and talking to them and reason, I do it every day to say, come on, go check out this, I know, go check that. You have to keep beating on the door until
showing an interest in their well-being.
Yeah, man.
Show them your care.
You know, sir, I do that a lot faster.
Yeah, man. But more people have to do it like you. And like more people, more churches need to have the young people. We need to come sign them up and go to Heart Trust and say, we have all of these young men. I know a young man who finished high school, have CXCs and can't get work and need a building construction.
Is that the young man we see outside all the time?
Yeah,
absolutely. Man. Send the list to the Prime Minister. Come on, everybody. Take a list of the persons who you know need word, are interested in getting
training.
work and
man.
Trained.
Go Send it to him and say, we want to get trained.
All right, we've started enough.
One of the things we have to work on too, Pastor. We have to work on the salary, the monetary part of the thing, you know. Because listen, one of the things why they are losing, who lose a lot of the skill men, them, you know. You know, so a lot of skill men are drive all taxi and all them type
Tell
of
me
thing, you know,
about it.
because the money, the salary that they have been paid, it cannot.
They're not getting the rates.
They're not being paid enough.
They're not getting the rates, and that is why
The
I would
master
say
builders are
that the
so-
unions have a role to play. Listen, if I try to make a dolly house at my yard and get a contractor, him telling me the rates for the electrician, how much per point, for the mason, how much for the per block and square foot and so on. And there are rates approved through the Master Builders Association as well, based on your level of skill and certification. If you're a common laborer, then it's a daily wage of whatever. But persons who have a certain degree of skill, there is a rate, and somebody is collecting it.
But my sister,
Yes.
there was a program on the radio on Sunday, you know, where I heard the man who is in charge of the BITU in the Senate there saying
Yes.
that consultants told the Chinese that they not have to pay
The rates.
the rate, you know, that they could employ people at a lesser rate because he was saying that the consultant told the Chinese that the rate is between the government, is between the union and the master builder. So they do have to abide by that rate.
Yeah,
You understand?
that's what we're talking
So
about. So, which consultant? Is that a Jamaican?
Yes.
Yeah, but that is.
He said it. So the host of the program said to him, so wait. So the consultant sell out the Jamaican workers.
Right.
Well,
those are some of the things that we need to begin. Cause I want to know which consultant, because all them are think about themselves, you know.
Right. So
Yeah.
you see the amount of work you see the amount of work
that we need to
be done.
do. Well,
So
that means we can't waste no
I
time.
don't want to be frank, you know, that little man must stop waste time for rain every day, come talk about Israeli and this and that. The thing is not moving the country forward, you know. Because listen, we are unsafe if more people not working and the youth them slung on the corners and have nothing to do, because you think the youth them are go hungry every day and find a way to get food.
Yeah.
And get food in the wrong way. We want people to get food in the legitimate way, not in the way, you understand?
Yes.
So all of us should have an interest to see that everything run the right way. So for me, I am impatient. When I hear a man come from radio, because we waste the time I talk about for foolishness. Every day I pick up the Bible, the Bible.
Leave that alone. Leave that alone. To some persons, he represents a voice of encouragement and confidence to some persons who need to be fortified in their sense of identity in order to move forward. Some people feel like, oh, we always lose. We can't win. Look how long. They're in slavery. The man is trying to tell us that we have a royal point of origin and we must take strength from that. So maybe he's somewhat pedantic in his approach and he'd love to have us trailing through the scripture. I don't mind trailing through the scripture, but not while I'm on radio like this.
My sister.
Yes.
Anytime a man you dwell too much in the Bible, me have a problem with that.
I mean, you have a problem with me.
Bible is the Bible that slavery, you know.
But you love Pastor Percival. You have no problem with Pastor Percival, and the Bible is his home.
But Pastor Percival talk about the Bible every day.
No, that is my principle. That is my base, you know. That is my base.
All right, Pastor, you need to talk about it some more.
Yeah, man.
Pastor, what I get from you, you know. What I get from you, you know. You keep your religion in your closet, man.
No, sir.
Mind you let Pastor lose his frock. All right, listen, we gotta take our break now. We have to take our break now.
All right, then, blessings.
All right, have a good day.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us on 926-386 66.
We are something special on the road.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A. Authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B. Better service including free island-wide delivery. C. All major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Vejan Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vejan Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good. It's better. But nothing beats.
Welcome back. Do we have any callers online? No callers online. But we wanted to make a point even as we reflected on the oath and the vows. The Prime Minister, we have a caller online. Good morning, caller. How are you? Hello. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Yes.
How are you, my brother? This is Malvern. How are you doing?
Yes, it is Malvern. You're correct.
Yeah, man. What you have to say this morning?
Yes, just one thing. With enlightened self-interest, I share a little bit of the sentiment he shares. That man irritates me profoundly.
Profoundly. All right.
I find him a bit sure, I can't bother say. But listen, I have a question for you and the intelligent woman there with you. How come you don't ask him no question?
We don't ask.
We don't ask him no question.
Because we know that he irritates you profoundly. We try not to prolong it.
I see. Most all right.
So one of the things we want to do, I'm going to engage him because you see, we can't spend the real time going to some other things.
All right, Pastor, it look bad now.
Yeah.
Just every day you say you're going to engage him.
No, but
Let me say it with love
yeah.
before anybody else say
No, man,
it.
all right. Why you saying, Malvern? What do you think about the whole thing what we raised this morning and the jobs and the issues at hand?
The oath you said?
Yeah.
The oath?
Yeah, or the affirming.
It was very revealing. The fact that he did not swear to his creator, whoever his creator may be. He swore to himself. And his bank account. Power of his cash.
You know, Malvern, I'm calling you by Pastor's name for you. You are one of my favorite callers.
I thank you.
You are one of my favorite callers. I have a few.
I try to help. I try to help us all.
Yeah, man, that's what it's about.
The producer says I must be careful now when the other favorite callers
call.
I know you have a lot of favorites.
So you're helping us out now.
You see, that is why you're my favorite. No, but you've gone to the heart of it. I mean, Pastor actually had me pull up the scripture in which, in Genesis, when God gave his commitment to Abraham and he swore by himself.
Yes.
He says
there's no other.
No one higher than me. So when persons are, affirming and giving their own solemn declaration and commitment, they're swearing by themselves.
Yes.
None higher in their estimation.
Yes.
And you just went straight to it. You didn't even hesitate.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
So please, in the future,
yes,
when the young man from Portmore calls, ask him some questions that will rattle him, that will shake his foundation.
Okay.
I have to engineer for you to ask him some questions. I'm going to work on that.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Is there another call on the line?
Hello?
Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to the Morning Connection.
How are you doing, Mr. Minister and Pastor?
We're good enough.
We're well.
We are speaking directly of this Prime Minister of all Prime Ministers because frequently you said the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
All of them take the same road.
No. That's why we wanted to check. I asked our assistant just to check when Bruce Golding did it and when Portia did it, the last previous prime ministers. If we could find it, that we were saying we're not picking on him.
No, so remember now, there's the oath and there's the affirmation.
Yeah, but one of the things I find, is because you are Christians, right?
Yes.
And I even I'm not coming to talk on this family side because he's not my friend. I'm going to vote for him.
Right.
But I think I don't think you really find this family. You don't like this family, all right? The mother stuff.
Do I like the prime minister? You mean as an individual?
I don't think so because
no, man. This prime minister is charming. He's young enough to be, considered handsome. As an individual, there's nothing to complain about. As the prime minister, the leader of the nation with certain responsibilities in the office, I don't see the man. What I see is the performance in the office. And it doesn't matter when we're talking about it, if it is Andrew Holness, Bruce Golding, Portia Simpson Miller, Michael Manley, PJ. It really doesn't matter. And we have to be able to see the office and what the office ought to deliver, separate from the individual.
I heard Pastor say that he's not a Christian. He don't believe that he's a Christian.
I never said
no,
that.
Sir,
I never said that. I didn't say that.
Are you sure you want to say the tape? But
no, we can't replay the tape. No, man, hold on. Don't quote me and say what I did not say. I say I know he's of the Adventist faith.
Oh, I see. All right, we'll come off of the private.
Right, please.
Yes, man. But what you're talking about, we have some matters at hand. Mm-hmm.
Every one of them big hotels to come from foreign.
Yes.
Remember, they carry certain international standards coming up, so you will find, draftsmen, some of them architects and all of that. One of the main problems when hotels are building up, big buildings are building where they're came from. When you see how the people line up at the gate to look at jobs. Most of them are casual workers,
We know that. But then there are people who, I know of persons who are trained and skilled in other areas like masons, electricians, and so on, who can't get work. And they are certified by heart.
You're right, but young people, especially some of them will go hard. What's the resolution in them attitude and go out in a kind of way? And just try to tell themselves to the employees, man.
So are you
talking about taking personal responsibility and going out? I agree with you, but also facilitating them. We have to do what we can to help them, because you sound like a middle-aged older person to me. Yes.
No, it's just the early 50s.
Well, I'm saying that, in our time, would I get up off would I get up? Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm saying at the 80s when I left school in the middle, somewhere in the middle of the I decided to go and my brother me up this farmer. We read 2 years and we have ball. You know what we do? We try to find one of the art institutions, them, the MCA, them, and sometimes, all night time I come and I have to walk 13 miles,
True.
From Bagwalk to above. Because when and most of the evening, when I'm not going to, when I do half day, I have to come to KT, come to the electronics,
right.
ULCI. So some of these youth, you have to talk to them. Everybody has son and daughter, some of them just won't hear the most talking as can't do what these parlors. Not take my talking and this and that.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Do you have any influence over any young person in your community who listen to you when you talk?
Let me see them all the while and them come talk. So about what you think them want.
They want a handout.
More than $50 or $100.
Yes. And none of them you can influence? Not even one? Not even one you have been able to influence?
After 1 year, and you see that him about supporting ID, electoral ID.
Okay.
What about the electoral ID to try and go on the road?
True.
But some of these youth in the past, you have to ignore them,
I agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah.
I was doing some work for art one time, and I went up to the office, the one on Roosevelt Road, and two you coming from Young, and them coming them slippers, you know. And it was like, they treated the boy because when I already say you got put on shoes or something, it's not calling the youth them and talk to them. That's not fair to one of the guys that work there. You can't treat youth them in this kind of way. Come on, give them the application form and tell them what to do have to come back. Just come back there in a little a polo shirt and one nice cup. You pants and stuff.
The truth is, and I agree that some of us don't know better, but we have to, as older person, be the bridge. Because some of them, with the words, them get hauled up. They never grown up. They never had parents to guide them, and so that is where myself and you come in and fulfill the bridge. Because a lot of them, when they check out, they don't know better, you know. And that's the truth, you know. They do not know better.
I say have much responsible parent.
I know that.
Irresponsible parent. How much irresponsible parents with the man and son that smoke the ganja there and cigarettes. You think my grandmother is a smoker and they know that she smokes and she was a tough Christian, you know. But this is, I don't know. I really don't know, Pastor. Before me go, the guy where I get this spiritual advice, you know. It is so ironic that they have a program, you know, but nobody listens to them, you know.
Okay.
Nobody listens to them, so you said he keeps that more than listen to your program, you will see other person hear him.
Okay.
Well,
So,
well, there are a few people listening to this one, so
right.
at least someone heard.
And last one, this is a popular program, man.
All right, then.
Okay, then, Pastor, this minute.
Thank you very much. Have a good day. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection. Good morning.
Morning. But you know, Minette, he raises a very important point. And because I see it every day in terms of interaction, we of this generation have to become the bridge to them. Because a lot of them have grown up in homes.
Well, I agree with you. That's why I told you it's our job.
It's our job, and we have to educate. And they will listen, you know.
Those younger than us, we're responsible.
Yeah, we have to build relationships with them. Welcome, caller.
Yeah, morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Yes, morning. I'm here.
Yes, you are.
Yes. Morning, Miss Minute and Pastor Percy.
Yeah, man.
You know what the PM said the other day. You know, it really concerned a lot of persons, including myself.
True.
Because when you vote in persons to lead, you know, you vote them in to manage stuff. And if we are short on workers in the skill area, we have technical schools. We have the heart. And I'm not even mentioning UTech, but the technical school and the heart. And if those two areas are not putting out the kind of skilled trained persons that we want, then who is that field? Is it us or the person who is managing it? Because right now I think the art training is in the office of the Prime Minister, don't it?
Yes, it is.
It has been for some time now.
And it is noted to receive $11 billion a year from
education tax. No,
from the tax,
the tax
that is levied.
Yeah,
$11 billion annually.
Exactly. You know, personally, I think this PM has failed us miserably. You know, when the art was implemented by Mr. Edward Seago, and when PM Prime PJ Patterson came, you realize that he lifted the heart from where it was in Mr. Seago's time. You know, it was a good idea when Mr. Seago implemented, and when Mr. PJ came, he lifted the standard. So the point I'm making, each leader that comes supposed to bring their thing a bit further.
Yeah.
To another level.
Yes. if my father make a bicycle, then I must make a bike.
Mm-hmm.
And my
And your son
must make a car.
And the next one, an aeroplane.
Exactly. Now this period is bringing it worse than where it was in the beginning. He's going backward. He has failed us. And I'm saying to Jamaica, if he can't deal with the work, leave the job. You understand? That's my, statement to him. If he can't handle it, leave it. Because what he's doing is wrecking our country. He bring the art in an office and make it a political tool. And when you start to make your education a political tool, that's where it begins to wreck. Bring back the art to where it was. It was never in no prime minister's office.
Mm-hmm. And if you decide to put it in the prime minister's office, it must be so as to improve the performance of it and to make it work even better. It can't be that it then falls behind. I take your point. And, I share the comments you make that when we elect leaders, we are relying on them to put the best arrangements in place for the country. And one of the most important tasks is the preparation of the workforce.
That's right. And my second point is, and final point, is that the Bible is a book of moral guidance and things, but we have to, check how we deal with Bible when we start to trace our DNA back from 6,000 years and try to find out who is Amorite from who is this and this,
the Moabs and Esau.
Right. I think we must use the Bible to guide people morally, to teach them Christ-like characteristics, and to encourage our people to have ambition, to have aim in life, to contribute positively to society. Because while we are talking about Chinese or Magog or whatever,
Gog and Magog
improving themselves. We as black people, need to get up.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, there is a recognition even in the laws of man that you deal with people as you find them, and you address their needs based on where they are, and for some persons that is important. For most of us, I would hazard a guess, it is not as important as to some. But to those who believe it important, I don't denigrate them or take it away from them. I just know that what it means to me and what keeps me centered and sane, and I focus on that. So, I mean, a number of persons are disturbed by how my young caller expresses himself. I am not. Sometimes I'm impatient, but you know what? I am trying to be virtuous and learn how to overcome those moments of impatience, because those do greater damage or harm to harm and damage to my own health than to anybody else. So I gotta manage that so that my blood pressure and my heart remains healthy.
That's right. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, man.
Thank you too for calling.
Thanks for calling.
All right.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
So we're kind of new word, intellectual property homage.
Africa loves my brother and sister.
Oh, you know, my brother. Blessings.
Well, all right. Now, I don't want to go into certain things, but listen, we in Jamaica must realize that a prime minister in any country in the world, right? We in Jamaica must realize that we are to tell whosoever is needing what is our benefit as people, right? And we must demand our benefit, not because he is prime minister, him untouchable. Nobody can talk to him. Nobody can tell him what to do. No, we must forget that now. That is a old-fashioned thing. We must tell the Prime Minister the direction for benefit we, the people. Right?
Yeah.
If we put him there. Right?
Yes, and we have to maintain the dialogue. At no point should we accept being shut out.
Right. Now, what we are accepting, you see, we, the people in Jamaica, is accepting this big defeat.
Yeah.
And then we're going to blame the Prime Minister. And then we're going to blame the opposition leader. But if we are not directing our way out, or we see it better for we, then don't expect him when make it better for we. You understand me? We must demand our benefit.
True.
Right? And put it in the direction, right, that him have to comply to we who put him there. Right? All right. Now, Bongo first.
Yes, my brother.
You have a challenge there now, I say.
What is that?
I want to know Prophet Greg.
Yes, man. Me and Prophet Greg supposed to link up, man.
Well, make me tell you something.
Yeah.
You see, when you and him walk up
Yes.
on this station,
Yeah.
it's not an easy man.
No, man. Me pick up that already.
When it comes to biblical factor,
Yeah, man.
don't take this little virgin simple.
No, man. We know because, and we have started the discourse already because some of the things, that's why we say we're going to do some things and talk about it and explain why some of the positions are different. We're good, man. We're good.
Right. So you prepare, you prepare your autonomy,
No, man. We're ready, man. Ready anytime.
You must prepare right now,
Me know, man. That's all right. We know, man.
That joke thing with you and him.
No, man. It's
all
not
right.
good.
All right, well, let me tell you now. The strength of any country is its people.
Always.
And if the people feel, right, don't blame the Prime Minister. Don't blame no Prime Minister.
But there's leadership,
Yeah, but leadership.
But you're saying ultimately.
Yeah, leadership demands a direction.
True.
No, the people is the direction.
Okay.
They are the direction.
Mm-hmm.
And they must know that. Don't look at it certain way. Don't forget that they are the direction.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if it means 3,000 of us stand up peacefully, so we don't like that suggestion then, Mr. Prime Minister.
Okay.
We prefer this suggestion because this suggestion is better for we.
True.
Right? And for our country and our children.
Which is an important thing in terms of do it that you have to do as people. You have to not only think about yourself. Some cultures have it that the father prepares for his grandchildren. That's what you have to do. That is why some cultures continue to perpetuate themselves, even though people have tried to destroy them.
Right. My virgin a while ago, I just said, my brother, I wouldn't say virgin. Him said, being father make a bicycle.
Yes.
Then we for make a bike.
True.
So we put in our Prime Minister. Right? And him now make a bike, him now make a bicycle. So make we tell him, say, make the bike and show him.
Okay.
Or make the bicycle and show him. Right? You understand me? A full time now, listen. Certain things when me say I go on at Jamaica, it's a go on from 1962,
Yeah, and it's full time.
We the people that repeat ourselves across Prime Minister and Prime Minister. And we don't realize we are the government.
True.
All right, sir.
You know, government, but we are the government. So we for pencil out our thing to make Jamaica better.
And make the right moves. And we don't don't accept being shut down, shut up, pushed out, whatever it is. Because at the end of the day, there are more of us than of them.
Right, my sister.
Yeah.
So we can make 163 people lead 2 points.
The tail wagging the dog.
This, and we are cost that and we are cost it.
Yeah.
And we the people, when we want Jamaican people, brother, understand the thing, man. I know, sir. We will put certain petitions. Yo, that's no why you're fed up.
All right, my brother. Thank you.
Better.
That sounds firm enough. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning to you, Miss Minute, and good morning to you, Pastor Percy.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
Yeah, well, I'm giving God thanks I'm alive.
True. Mm-hmm.
I can tell you something.
Yes.
This program was a program that I
I wake up to every morning and listen.
Mm-hmm.
But I see the program divert in a different direction. So I just sit back.
Mm-hmm.
I used to get up in the morning, find sounds to match the morning.
Okay.
I could have no more. Not that I give up on the program,
Mm-hmm.
but I just noticed a trend.
What is the trend?
I'm talking to your pastor. That's what I.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I don't call the program no more. So just give me a time.
That's
okay.
true.
That's true. I haven't heard your voice. What's up? Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people start calling the program and carrying in a different direction.
Okay.
Now, I want to know if my prime minister
Mm-hmm.
is untouchable, if my prime minister can't be talking about. Now, a gentleman come on this morning, and he's talking about the prime minister gone silent as they run out of ideas. They don't know what to do. They say they're bringing in workers. Workers are here already.
Mm-hmm.
They are here already. They didn't come to the country and say, listen, if the IS, this can't work, I'm going to bring. They bring them already. That means them not care if but me because. You understand? And you have some people who just feel say enough to send up about the prime minister. He's not untouchable. He's a man like me and you. It's just that people put him there and him playing chess with the people. Then. There's more to come to it like a bomb. Because the nibs is a must. And no matter what you do, the nibs must come.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So, I don't understand what is happening. What is the chess that is played? The draft that is played is putting things in place. Everything are going to match up. That when him say no, nothing can turn back. And I see these little people who die at it, and I must open their eyes and look. Never look at her. I love you. North Street to Jamaica, to Oak Road. I love that. Because you're not hold back. I'm telling you something. People would love to see the show go down. And they don't like the direction, and some come on and talk a lot of things. I'm telling you something. I just get out of the hospital.
Serious?
25,000 me pay for admit. 25,000. And every pill me take, me have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the med?
Where is the health care?
What is there? You see the men bathroom? The men bathroom. I want somebody to go look on it.
Which hospital were you at?
University.
Okay.
I was in Ward 6.
Yeah.
And I want to look on the bathroom when you want bathing and not doing it on it. And let me tell you something. When a man sit down out that door and run up their mouth, I'm telling you something, man. Get in a hack together, man. Get in a hack together.
You can hold my brother, because we're up on the break. You can hold?
Yeah, I will hold.
Okay, thank you.
So let's go to the break and come back.
Yes, I appreciate it.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Vejan Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vejan Printers, your best choice in printing.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats. Best
Welcome back, my friend.
Good
Continue,
morning.
please.
Pastor.
Mhm.
And it don't make no sense to say, Pastor, go look. And when you're done, because there's a lot of things that put to you. And you say you're going to do it and you don't do it. So it don't make no sense to say, Pastor, but look, go up at the university. Go look in your bathroom. And then you say, I didn't get to do it. So I'm not going to put you on that.
No, but I've been there and I've seen the bathrooms, both the male ward because I've visited, and I've seen what happens to on the female ward. What is different is living with it. There's one thing about passing through and seeing it, but there's another to know that when you wake up in the morning and you want to refresh yourself, that's where you have to go.
Beautiful.
Because we've never used it. But what you are raising something that even when
I spent 10 days in there.
yeah, man. So for 10 days, you had to build up your spirit to go use it, knowing that it is below the standard for healthy people, much less for sick people.
And people have money can be playing with and chewing all around. If it's even like a one solar hot water heater, but I'll tell you to put no electric.
You mean there's no hot water?
Miss Minette.
But you see now, me would assume certain things.
Miss Minette.
Wow.
There's a lot of things locking in there.
Okay.
And you see, if you're calling for service and the people are not like you, well, it not happen to me, but it see happen to other people. I'm gonna tell you something. If you get up, we need to do some soul searching, and these little people with a PMPR jail because none of them not do nothing. None of them take civics out of the school because them don't want to use them no more.
Right.
Some of the youth them too. Them for get up and go educate themselves. You see, I used to teach. I have a couple of guys that I teach electrical work, and I'm proud of them because them out there do it. And I have someone that they're not taking nothing. Understand? I do consultants. But I'm telling you this. When we the elder, will sit down and I endorse PMP and GLP on people first.
Yep.
People, you know
every time.
Listen, education, hospitality, and land. And them three there. I'm tell you something. When I have a good man, because I don't want to start.
But please don't hang up. Just speak to the
Do you know
engineer for me before you go.
Before you go, remember we found the basket. You listen to that program?
No, I didn't listen because I was out. Remember this, I was out. So if you find a basket, I'd appreciate you telling me about the basket. Because when you ask me to look about the basket.
Yes, I went and
we found it. We
the
found
basket,
it.
man.
Wow.
It was 2,000 and it is like
Oh God.
It's about $9,000
dollars
to fill that basket now.
Pastor Percy, at the time I was going through a lot.
Okay, sorry.
And you want me to tell you just, and I talk to the man them out there. They say if you get a little fall, don't take it light.
Okay.
I take a fall in October, half a pan, drop in our water, and it start affecting me December.
Okay.
And if you don't know the amount of money we I spend right now,
okay,
just to that fall.
To recover health.
When I take the X-ray, the X-ray didn't show nothing.
Okay.
It showed muscle spasm.
Right.
When I take the MRI, it showed a whole heap of disturbance.
Okay.
And I'm still getting treatment. So I'm telling the men out there, I'm telling them, be careful. When you can't ride bike, cannot go out there, foolishness and good health. And all the little politician people, they're going to go away. Go away, go see God and get in the Bible.
Okay.
All right, my brother, don't leave.
Don't leave. Don't leave. We want your number. Yeah. Hello.
Morning, Pastor.
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
But a good while, I'm not calling on maybe
That's
about
true.
a week.
Yes, what happened?
He might work on him project, man. He might work on him project. He might pull the people together in the community working on his project. Is that true, my friend?
It's not true. I don't tell lie. It's not true.
Oh, jeez. I was hoping for the better. Anyway, go ahead.
But the truth, what I tell you.
All right.
There's so much to talk about, but there's no time for it. You need to open the phone line for 3 hours. Anyway, did you know there's a lot of tradesmen in this country that cannot spell their name?
Yeah.
I would believe that, yes. Drivers too. A lot of men driving as well.
And the better builders, some of them that is You know that?
I didn't hear that.
It was a
Huh?
no. You
I
said
said
something. Yeah, repeat, please.
I said some of those builders that build house from scratch from population and put on a roof can't spell their name, and they're better builders than some of them qualified.
Yes, easily. I will accept that easily.
Oh, because I have a cousin that he was one of those, but he had a mathematics brain.
Mm-hmm.
That is the main thing building need, mathematics.
Numeracy.
The other thing, Sister Minute,
Yes,
did you
sir.
watch it? TVJ News last night?
Some of it. What did I? Tell me what in particular?
There's about 3 districts.
Blocking the roads. Yes, yes, yes. One of them is on the front page this morning.
Cavaliers up in rural St. Andrew, West Rural.
And near to me as well in Stony Hill. Is that
We don't need a parliament building right now. The money that is going to build that parliament building can build maybe. There's a school down here that I went to in Park Mountain School. I left there about 68 and come to a school in Santa Cruz, an Adventist school, a private school. My son was going to school and he was out of school for 2 years because of Corona. I took him back and the principal told me that take him back. He's out of school for 2 years. I must take him to the app. And I didn't tell her that I want to take my son to college. That's what she told me. So I took him to Park Mountain school to get him in, and the vice principal told me that they don't have any space. They have to put up tarpaulin outside to be teaching kids. And they asked government for addition. Government said they don't have any money.
Mm-hmm.
So how can you be spending 50 million US on parliament for those fat bringing people to go and plan to teach people money?
That was graphic.
No, man. And not only that, they're going to displace a lot of people to build that building. And you're backing them, Sister Minette?
No, I'm not backing them.
We're backing them.
I'm not. No, I said
So the concept. Oh man, the concept.
No, I was making the point that we do need to have the best possible arrangements to house our parliament, but it is always a matter of priority and timing and how you're funding it. And you never put construction over people. Me and me all quarrel about the oath that seemed to leave the people out of it, except insofar as the Governor General is to be advised and so on and so forth. People first for me, every time.
Yes, it should be people first. But you know that this Prime Minister, you remember what he said? Every Jamaican have a big house. Every Jamaican cannot and will not have a big house.
Well, every Jamaican don't want that.
That's what he said. So all in his eyes is big construction. And that is what's going on in this country since he win. I've never seen so many construction in my life.
Well, he also said that he was going to be dealing with the illegal money, and that is fattening up the construction industry. So it is kind of ironic that the man who says he's going to make sure that some of this heavy spending you see in construction, both himself and the Minister of National Security have pointed out that a lot of the money laundering goes into the construction industry, and they said they're going to deal with it. So it's kind of ironic that you're seeing the most spending, or, as you characterize it, under the watch of someone who says that they're going to deal with it.
Another thing, most of the buildings that are building right now are painted green. So you know what that means?
They are painted green?
Yeah, most of them.
All right. Well, that might not be your best point.
Well, it's the truth.
Yeah, but green is still a beautiful color.
Yes, I know. But you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So those people will be funding the election. That's a point I'm making.
Okay. It's a point here. So all right, so good. You have any other points this morning? you want to make? You have made some very good points, actually.
Yes, but I make a bad point about the green. It's still
No,
a
me never
point.
say-
No,
No.
they kind of demonizing the color is not the strength of what you're saying. The point you make about supporters getting building permits and doing big investment and therefore obviously ready to reward the government that made it possible. That is a powerful point because campaign funding and so on is something that we're still grappling our minds around it.
There's another point I tried. I didn't remember it. For the past 3 months, I wanted to make this point, but it slipped me all the time. And I called a friend of that I have her number on WhatsApp, but she didn't answer it. Answer me. And I was talking about this. Dion Jackson had a town hall meeting on TVJ.
Yeah.
And they were talking about the building that is building wrongfully in Kingston, somewhere in Kingston.
Right.
Yes.
There was this Chinaman. He was a president for some citizen organization, community.
Yes.
And he was saying that he's going to put his foot down. And what he was talking, I said, they're going to kill him. I turned to my girlfriend and said, he's going to get killed for saying those things on TV.
And
what happened to him?
Did that happen?
Yes, they killed him. They killed that Chinaman, and a girl was involved. A girl was there, and they didn't kill her. He and a girl went somewhere. I think it was a second area somewhere. Remember that killing?
How long ago is this we're talking about?
It could be about 4 or 5 months ago, or 6 months. They killed that Chinaman.
Are you serious?
Yes, but
you remember his name?
I don't remember his name, but it looked like he picked up the girl and went somewhere, and somebody came and killed him. But I think it was a plan. It was a hit.
I remember that story, but I did not know about his participation in the town hall meeting.
Yes, and they killed him. I predict that there's some people in this country you don't hit out against them. That I try to tell you that this minute all while these people will kill you, just try to stop their food. They will.
Well,
so that's what I always tell you.
Right, but you know,
you talk in public. That's why I didn't want anybody to find out who I was, and
yes,
pastor let them give me a name and searching me. But I'm not that scared. I'm not that scared, because I speak the truth.
Well, and I tell you,
I know what to talk on here. That's why I try to call somebody to discuss this very thing.
Right.
And she didn't answer me. Okay, sister, talk to you.
Oh, thank you, my brother. I'm trying to do the research. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Yes, good morning again.
Morning,
Pastor,
sir.
this one is for you. Pastor.
I'm here, man. I'm listening.
Yeah, man. The camel is on the horizon. You ever hear about that statement there?
The what?
The camel is on the horizon.
The camel?
Yeah, is on the horizon.
No.
I've never heard that.
I've never heard. What you saying?
Yeah, man. It was an Arab man, and Arab made that statement.
Mm-hmm.
He said his grandfather rode a camel.
Mm-hmm.
His father rode a camel.
The guy from UAE.
His father rode a camel.
Mm-hmm.
He drives a Benz.
Yes.
His son drives a Land Rover.
Yes.
And his grandson is going to ride a camel.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what is happening in Jamaica.
Yeah. I think
because remember when we have things like the SDC?
Yes.
Where we have middle class people and women and so used to go around in the communities
and help people. Yeah.
And help people.
Mm-hmm.
So what we have now is a nation that we lose all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't mind, chap, now what is happening now is worse than what we took place when we were coming out of slavery in terms of our social behavior and things like that.
Yeah. So one of the things that those things helped to do was to build social cohesion within the community, and there was social capital, which would move the community forward. Now that is not happening because we have gone back to me, myself, and I, and what I want without thinking about the other persons who are impacted by the decision that I am making.
And you have lost the thing that my philosophy is enlightened self-interest. All of that should be enlightened self-interest should replace all of that, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, man, because what you want for yourself, you know, and if you love yourself and what you want for yourself, then it is important that you want the same thing for the next person. Because if you live over your yard, for argument's sake, and you have a mango tree over your yard, and the mango tree bare, and nobody else in the community do have no mango, right? When you go on your bed, people come over your yard come steal your mango, you know. So if you reap the mango, because you don't want a man come to your yard, and you reap the mangoes, and give your neighbors them some, and give other people some. Somebody wouldn't come to your yard, come steal your mango, man.
Okay. Because you're giving them some, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
So all them rich people, I want them to look at life that type of way. That if you live in a community and it's only alone have things, rich, and nobody else have nothing, you're a threat to
you become prey.
A threat to you, you know.
You become prey.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, that is so very, very interesting because I could tell you stories upon stories of persons who have gone out of their way to help people, and in the end it was what saved their lives when they were being preyed upon.
Yes, man. I went to the United States by Lauderhill in Florida. And nobody, I see a youth coming and him just leaving bicycle on the lawn. And nobody take it. And when we take a track, we look all around the city, people leave them bicycle. Everybody have a bicycle.
Okay.
So if nobody has ever had a bicycle beside that one kid, quite like him couldn't leave him bicycle there, you know.
Not at all.
Somebody would want to steal it. So this is what I want people to understand. That when you help a youth, when you see a youth going astray, and when you try and help him, you are helping yourself, you know.
True. You know that.
Because
I know that very well.
Youth, that same youth, if him go the wrong way, might become a threat to you in your community.
Yeah. And I can relate to that in terms of how grateful people became for you. I remember I worked in a certain organization. I used to coach the football team. And we had to move from one location to the next one. But then I saw a group of youth and I said, boss, help me now, need a job. And I said, I can't do that in my hand, but what can I do to help you? And I remember one gentleman said, boy, I have 2 6s, you know, but me just stuck. And I said, all right, let me help you. Send him go to computer. This was a long time ago. And then I forget about it. But then what happened to me was when I'd moved from corporate into full-time, somebody kept saying, tell the boss hello for me now. And I said, what am I saying? I don't know who it is. The young man present himself and said, boss, you remember when they sent me on a computer? And I said, yeah. He said, well, I do me the greenhouse still, and that was the thing that started me. But the underlying thing was, in the community that I was working, he was sitting on a 357 Magnum.
Definitely, look at that.
And it changed his life forever. Give up that life and press on. So with the good you do will follow you. And that is out of my Bible. You tell me, say, me no.
But you remember, that the source of the enlightenment that breeds the self-interest could be the Bible.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if it's the Bible that breeds my own or just my selfish way I look at that life, you know.
No, because
no, if you say enlightenment comes from without and sparks what's within.
Well, because to to think about oneself, is not a bad idea, It's when you go about thinking about yourself, Because you have a thing them call them self-preservation,
Sure.
And if you want to preserve your life and yourself and you look after your children and your family and everybody around you, it is important that you get everybody around you almost on the same level. That they don't want to destroy you.
So they, right.
It's called the golden rule.
Yeah. All right, my brother.
Yes, man.
Thank you
Bless you.
very much.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Bless the name of Jesus. Bless his holy name. Blessed good morning, Pastor Percy.
Good morning, Evangelist. How are you doing?
Good morning to you and the callers them that call in. Listen attentively, and I love the energy this morning. Every person, all of the people them speak heading for one direction. But you know sometimes you have other people speak otherwise. And God created every man as a free moral engine with the power of choice. You have the constructive criticism and you have the destructive criticism. But we love the constructive criticism and the only way forward. I thank the Almighty God for the people them in Jamaica. We are observed and we are take place and are put in their two
cents worth.
Everything one of us can make a difference in this great country called Jamaica, the rock. All we have to do is just work together as a team. This is selfish gratification. It's a dangerous thing to the society. And when you look at we have take place in this great country, Jamaica, most of who are the gatekeeper them, you can't see the selfish gratification and manifest and demonstrate. You remember with Joseph and his brother them, Joseph was a dreamer and Joseph raised with his brother them and them take him and threw him in one pit. They did want to kill him, but one brother beg for him and they not kill him and then they send him commercial. And the same man who them threw in the pit, from the pit to the prison, to the palace, to the prime minister, to Egypt. In the same one come on and help him, brother them, give them corn and oil and the whole works. And but he did want to Benjamin, same hold on back on 1 or 2 and say, watch out. Go back to Benjamin, come on Benjamin, and he never take offense from them and he give them the privilege to eat in an investor. And then I watch them and he look like he give Benjamin most of the food and I watch them every minute do Benjamin when all them treat him. And he look on them, you see, we need the support of each other and we need to come together and unite together. Listen to a man talking about him going by Twitter for $43 billion. And him have 200 billion people are follow him. And you see, the needs, it must come in place because it's a one world order system. They want to implement upon Jamaican brothers and sisters in the world. They want to act like them as God. The elites them, the globalists them, and the Nickelodeon them. But we must trust the sovereign Lord God Almighty and come together and unite together and work this great mission as the man to the world away our government.
All right.
We must come together and work together and trust God and live. It's 121 years prophetess minute. Reverend Jeffrey Shekerworth at Salat Baptist every night from 12 o'clock right back to the morning. We have pre the procession. We baptize 16 people Sunday over New Land. And we give God the glory at the end of the place. So people are reached out to last minute. And when last night is the young people, family. We pray for them and we anoint them and encourage them. God bless you, love you. Pastor Percy, we love this one. The parts of them are do in Jamaica and the love of them are demonstrate. Selfish gratification, it will kill us, it will destroy us. But when they come together, unite together for this one united effort, we can go forward. In Jesus Christ's name. Prophetess minute, you know what I will for people you have to call you. But you don't get to call it.
All right. Okay.
Well, each time I call, I get your voicemail, so
I don't know what is happening.
we'll keep trying.
What happened, Prophetess minute?
I'm going to try again after this show, so.
All right,
yes.
all right. God
the
bless
easiest
you,
time is right after the show.
Be strong and be courageous. Faith, shovel, and the gravel. Let us trust God, the sovereign Lord, the intentional God, and go forward and build back this great country called Jamaica, the rock, as men repent and turn and recognize the sovereign Lord, God Almighty, later.
All right. Take
you
care.
Song to me, Sister Prophetess minute.
Yeah, what is the song?
Christ in his kingly character.
Boy.
Christ in his kingly character.
All right, we
Garnet
got it.
Sig.
Garnet Silk.
Garnet
Oh,
Silk.
all right. We'll look for that one.
Hello, morning.
Good morning, Neville. Welcome.
But Devil, you call us at the time you call me?
2 minutes to the break.
Economist?
Yeah, you want to take a break?
Yeah.
In 2 minutes, you can start.
Listen me carefully now. Morning to your listeners and your callers. Hey, Miss Minette.
Yes, brother.
You see, when I joined this program with the 1660 program,
yes,
I'm not going to call the radio station too often.
Because you have the
I want during the summer of 2022, when I join this program this week or next week when the pressure come off for me, because Pep is Wednesday and Thursday.
Okay. Yeah, you remember that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to sponsor through this program 2 Pep students from any of these communities, Maxfield Avenue, Waltham Park Road or Great Farm, or as far as Payne Avenue.
All right.
And I'm going to also sponsor through this program 2 students who are doing CSEC.
CSEC. So it's 2 Pep
in
students.
any of the 12 subjects that I can tutor and keep through this program, because I want to be busy working in the field to build back this country.
All right. So 2 Pep students and 2 CSEC and or CAPE. So it's four students.
In the subjects that I tutor.
Yeah, man. So it's 4 students, not 6.
It can be 6.
Okay. 2 CSEC, 2 CAPE.
Yeah, but listen this. Tell me when the break come.
We're there. We're there now. We're there now. So don't start.
Tell the break.
Yeah. Thank you.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
From anywhere at all. You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi star?
Jano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose the problem and get back your transmission brand new. With them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. You hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me, send you.
You big star. Yeah, man. Respect my boss.
I try and call you, guys. Trust me.
Voiceless Auto Spares and Repairs. Good afternoon.
What a relief.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good. It's better. But nothing beats. Best
All right, Neville, continue, please.
Yeah, you see, when you see a man like Elon Musk, who they're posing as the richest man in the world by Twitter, you know, it's AI, they're going to feed all of those information into their artificial intelligence.
Yeah,
and they're done with human flesh.
Yeah, because he's a major proponent of transhumanism.
Yes,
he owns Tesla.
But he's also a defender of freedom of expression. One of the reasons
No,
he set he got into this, unless we're saying it's a front, but on the face of things, his concern is that Twitter was interfering too much and controlling too much what people chose to say. He himself had a problem with them because he tweeted something which led to a massive lawsuit and him being fined for stoking up some rough sentiments regarding the shares, the value of the shares in his own company, because he said he had raised the money to buy back the shares when in fact apparently he hadn't done so, and it caused a problem.
this minute,
Yes.
Pastor, listeners, you know, Pastor,
Yeah.
if you interact with me for 2 years straight,
Mm-hmm.
I can predict how you think about me. They're going to use a process known as assimilation to feed everything on Twitter into their computer system and use that mindset to create a superhuman as they deal and erase mankind. They're antichrist. Miss Minute,
Listening.
you know,
Hold on, Neville. So what you're saying is that Elon Musk has been one of the major proponents of transhumanism. That's what you're saying.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
And he has plans and his balance sheet and his forecasting for everything to go digital. We are now
But he's not alone
in
in
another
he's
phase
not
of the digital revolution in this world.
but he's not alone in that. Before his name was being touted in the same vein you're calling it now, Bill Gates has been accused of even worse.
Look here, Miss Minette.
Yes.
On the other side of the Atlantic, up in Europe, the richest man in the world is Vladimir Putin. You know what? You know that the Mama oil mine they stay from over Ukraine now and blew up an oil mine in Russia last night.
Okay.
Buildings are burning in Russia right now as we speak because they get the technology from the West to lick back Putin in Russia, and the war has now intensified. You know what Vladimir Putin and the Chinese and the Muslim country and the Indians are doing? They are creating a new currency to replace the American dollar, and the world is on fire. Miss Minute.
Listening.
Hello?
No, man, I'm
We're
listening
listening
to
to
you.
you. Mm-hmm.
Let me listen. Let me tell you this carefully in Jamaica, what is going on in Jamaica now. The government of Jamaica and the opposition, they have no use to the people anymore. No use. No use. They use, yeah, you know that CNN, you know CNN?
CNN, yes, we were just talking about CNN Plus.
Yeah, right now you have more listenership than CNN. CNN is becoming redundant in them capitalist system.
Well, I'm
the
not sure
politics
about
kill
that.
CNN. And look here, the politics of the PNP and Jamaica and the JLP, they have destroyed the Jamaican people. Did you know that the black male like me was out here never? We are the most endangered species in Jamaica right now, the black African males. They don't respect us. They undermine us. And you know what theory the Prime Minister using on the people of Jamaica and Joel? In using an economic theory known as Theory X. You ever study Theory X? They have Theory X and Theory Y, you know.
No, I've not studied
They
theory.
know, yeah, they know that the banking system is in trouble. They know that they can't create another fintech because the fintech report hide and burn up after the people of Jamaica spent $33 million. And there's a lot of banks that closed down in the world last night. Branches just closed down and nobody not get no notice. I've warning the Jamaican people for the last time. If you have any money in the bank which is above $1.2 million, which is the insurable value of your money in the bank, go and take out the excess money and transfer it into other bank accounts. Because the first time the governor of the Bank of Jamaica, Mr. Biles, go in front of the parliament, when they might interview him in the parliament, and none of the parliamentarians, including the Prime Minister, They even know which question to ask because they are not students of accounts and they are not students of economics. They don't know nothing about it.
Okay.
You hear Mr. Biles said when they ask Mr. Biles said, Mr. Biles, how is it that the bank takes so long to transfer people money from one bank account to the other? You hear what I'm saying?
What did he say?
The needs have to deal with that. The needs.
Okay, okay.
I see.
All right.
You know that this month coming here, the 20% of your light bill going to go on. They're going to take off 20% off of your light bill. If you use up to 200 kilometers, kilometer,
Kilowatt.
Kilowatt, 20%, right? If you use up to 200. So what happened to the middle class who lose more than that? But what they're trying to tell the people, say, so we're not living in a unity, every Jamaican not equal anymore under the law. Okay. Because that is a vote buying exercise, you know.
Yeah. I have to ask you though, I have to ask you this, Neville.
Yeah.
Because I have to ask you this, because while I am definitely one to read the trends and sound the warning, I also like to speak about the strategic response and the solutions that are required, because we're not going to lie down and die.
You want me to give you 2 solutions and come out for the year?
Yes, sir.
Any dream that anybody have right now, whether you be Labour right or PNP or Christian or Catholic or whatever, it's only teamwork going to make that dream work.
All
okay,
right, well,
that's one.
We got that.
And secondly, we have to trade differently now outside of the fiat currency system that they set up.
Well,
because the bank is of no use anymore, and the money that they're giving us to spend is of no use anymore. So we have to use things like favor for favor.
So we're back to 60 and 60. We're back to the philosophy behind 60 and 60. Communities
60 and 60
working
philosophy.
Together. Yes. Yeah. Well,
that is the philosophy.
It is definitely that.
And another suggestion before I leave.
Yes.
If you find yourself in any relationship, in any relationship, male and female in this country, it is the duty now of the African male, like me, to kill transactional sex in this country once and for all.
Okay.
Here.
Stop by sex from our females. Stop it.
Here.
Because it is creating a slaughterhouse.
Okay.
I support that.
And only the males will suffer for it, the black males. Because what they are doing, they are underpaying our females in the minimum wage. And at the same time, our females want the males to give them everything that they have.
Well, you've heard.
And they're using sex as a weapon of war.
You have heard us speak about what happens to a country when the women are turned, when the daughters become prostitutes. It doesn't end in a good place.
In this country.
Yeah, doesn't end in a good
They
place.
can't pay you for your overtime and they can't pay the minimum wage. And at the same time, the Prime Minister is scoffing at our labor.
Okay.
All right, my brother. Thank you. You have given us quite a lot.
He mentioned, we have another call online.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Morning Connection.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, a most sincere greeting to the Morning Connection team and family.
Thank you very much. We receive it well.
The righteous shall live by their faith.
True.
I want to make an intervention here. Miss Minette.
Yes, sir.
I want to take you up a little bit on the bold audacity.
Shameless
audacity, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I want to also touch on 60 in 60.
Okay.
In the 22nd year of this new millennium.
Okay.
I want to touch the 60th chapter of Isaiah and the 22nd verse especially. So I'm connecting 60 in 60.
Mm-hmm.
In the 22nd year of this new millennium, with Isaiah chapter 60 and especially the 22nd verse. Now, the Bible is much, much more than just a book. It is a whole lot of things and more. But if we just consider for a moment the Bible as a book, and if we just consider for a moment that although it consists of so many different whatever, but if we were asked to condense the story of the scripture as the story of a small nation of people, then that is what it would come down to be. And I say a small nation, not a small race. So I am submitting here this morning that the prophecy of Isaiah 60 and verse 22 refers to the Jamaican nation, that small Jamaican nation. I want to read that verse for the listeners.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says, a little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, the Lord, will hasten it in his time. Now I go further to say, and this is where the bold audacity comes in.
Mm-hmm.
The righteous shall live by their faith. And I am suggesting, and I am declaring, I am suggesting, and I am entreating the bold audacity of all the persons who have conceived of this effort called 60 in 60 in this 22nd year. All the persons that will hear of it and join it and, align with it, I am suggesting that is inside the feeding of the kingdom of the Almighty.
Amen.
I am saying where it says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all things will be added unto thee. I am saying that the Jamaican nation fulfills not only that prophecy of the 22nd verse, but the entire chapter of Isaiah 60. Now, the family has been talking about new wine and new bottles. I know that other people in this instance are on the line waiting to come in.
Yes, we do have one caller waiting.
Whereas I have tried to shine the light on the new bottle, as long as I get the opportunity, then I will supply the wine, so to speak.
We are very encouraged by your words. I catch on to things fairly quickly, but I tell you, you were almost towards the end of your comments before I saw the synchronicity between the 60 in the program and Isaiah chapter 60, and the 22 in the year and the 22 in the verse, and the producer is looking at me with amazement because usually I catch these things, but you have encouraged us.
Blessed love.
Blessed love. Please, I want to take your number because I certainly would like to have a conversation with you around what you have said. So I'm just going to ask the engineer to take a number from you.
Blessed love.
Blessed love indeed.
Okay.
Good morning. Welcome to the morning
Yes,
connection.
please. Yes. Good morning to you and your co-host.
Good morning.
Yes, first thing first, your last call, I really done wise. I have my reservation when it comes to religion. No reservation whatsoever about the original cause and effect of man and nature, or about the universal mind, through which all blessings flow.
Yes.
In other words, I have no problem with God.
Okay.
per se, but in terms of religion, there are a lot of reservation to be out there.
And wisely so.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Second thing now, Mr. Neville now,
Mm-hmm.
he mentioned about a possible alignment with Russia, with China.
Not possible.
When
It's
China,
there already.
yeah,
China,
yeah.
Russia, and India, he said.
No, leave out the already part out, right? No, could say possible. When China did weak, none of the white European countries never aligned with China, And now China strong. If Russia should Russia align with China, well, that means we can say that the West has lost.
Well, many are saying the West have lost. So yes, we could say that.
That should Russia align.
Yes.
But when China the weak, none of the white countries never align with them. So never when they're strong as them all weak still. But that's just a level opinion still.
Yes.
Second thing now, you mentioned the illegal construction has been mentioned by the Prime Minister and the
Oh yes, the money
Minister of
laundering.
National Security. You want to elaborate on that for me, where that possible money could have come from?
Oh well, I can't elaborate on where the money could come from because I don't have the knowledge. But we all have our suspicions and the understanding based on just typical trends in money laundering is that cash is king in the industry because you can buy goods and pay for labor without going through the banks.
Yes, so in other words, now, out that I use the last smuggle directly I come to Jamaica and I go in the address to other places.
Yes,
Direct.
that's
Yeah?
what, right, yes.
Is that so? So, and the Prime Minister, he said he can't take on that now.
Well,
he can't take on that and survive in terms of anything. I advise the Prime Minister to think in terms of the corruption in the central government, allow certain things in the illegal economy, But in the police, they're not there to back in.
Well, you heard another caller say that there was a man who spoke against certain things in the construction with a case in court, and he said he predicted that the man would be killed, and so it was.
I don't know if that's what ended, but it's a Chinaman from New Kingston. I don't know if he has good business, and there's some place designated in New Kingston as residential area.
No, but we're not. What the emphasis is this man's account that when he heard him speak, he said, and then he saw it happen. It's just the account given by the man, which I'm saying.
But it has not been proven that
there was any connection.
Right.
No.
It's connection. There's no connection.
No,
With greater respect to him, because they have other things. Them pick up woman must be nearly three times younger than him, or to that effect.
Right, it's
something like that. But two people have been arrested, and I don't know if they have been charged or anything like that, right?
Yeah, but the point I'm making is you are also sounding a word of caution and saying, based on your knowledge of the world, the Prime Minister had best leave that alone.
Yeah, and the corruption in the central government. That's what you put it
right, yes. The man who told his story saying he knew that when you touch things like that, death is a likely outcome.
Yes, I noticed that the councillor in Clarendon are calling upon their Labour Party councillor colleague and PMP colleague to stand up strong to get more money.
Yes, yes.
So what are we who are paying them as that the local government is in a shambles?
Right.
Country, the better the country build from the bottom go up,
Always
and the
has
local
been.
government. Yes, sir, and what again now? And last but not least, sir, you know what? This one slipped me, but we'll talk next time, yeah?
All right, it's been a
pleasure. That's how this start process.
Yes, of the calls and the morning show.
Just a quick thing. Theory X. He put it in. Theory X assume that employees are lazy.
Oh no, the theories X and Y are motivational theories. What it is that drives human behavior. But maybe we could address it properly at some time. Well, we're gonna thank everybody who contributed on the online on the chat this morning, except for Perry the Pirate. I'm not thanking him this morning. I'm teasing Perry. I thank you for your comments. They are all insightful and on point. To those who have called and added their contribution to the mix of ideas, thank you very much. Those in studio, Pastor Percy, thank you also. We're always grateful when people support and get the conversation going because we know that it is through the contention of ideas that solutions will arise. And boy, do we need some solutions. Have a great day, everyone. The Morning Connection.